Lisa with Shanty Homestead, and welcome to the channel. It's been a couple weeks since we've put out a video, but I wanted to have some actual things to update you on before we did a video. So I wanted to tell you some of the things that we've learned about our chicken tractor, the pros, the cons, and if I would ever do it again. So let's go take a look at the chickens. So first suggestion is I would start furthest away from your house because they leave a mess and you have to walk through it to get to the chicken tractor. Next thing that we learned is that they stink. Even though we move this chicken tractor every day, it still stinks. So there's 27 chickens in here. We bought some, we had hanging water, and I kept coming out and it was empty, bone dry. So we got 2 more different ones and hung them up. The problem is there are so many chickens in here that they run around acting like a bunch of animals, and they hit each other and they're knocking the water out of them. When you have a chicken tractor, you cannot have a waterer that sits on the ground unless you have a totally flat yard, because the water is going to leak out of it. So when they're hanging like this, they just hit them and dump the water out. So with this many chickens, you need a big enough feeder for everything. So Shane made this great feeder out of PVC pipe, and it just raises. As you open the lid, you can put the feed in. It works great. But we thought, oops, sorry. Scared him. So, I don't want a rooster. Oh, missed it. Okay, I thought I'd grab a chicken. So we thought, to help with them knocking the water over everything, that we would take 5 of them out so there weren't so many in there. I ordered all males. I think I have about 10 hens, which is fine with me, but the roosters are very aggressive. So we took about 5 of them out, just so there wouldn't be as much traffic in there. But the problem is they walk right through the fence. So I'd put them in with our big rooster and 3 chickens. We'd closed up the coop and put them in there, and I thought they would just kind of stick with those chickens. Put them in there one night with the coop closed. Our chickens didn't bother them. The next morning we opened the gate and I turned around and they were out. So they just, the squares, how big are the squares, Shane?
4 by 4.
The squares are just 4 by 4, and I thought they were big enough they couldn't get out, but they just walked right out. So I thought, well, okay, I'll just put them up at night. So we put them up at night, and then they won't go, because they won't go to the coop by themselves. They keep coming back to these chickens. They were enjoying being out. They were having a great time, but they were getting in my garden. So I put them back in here, and if I'm here during the day, it's not a big deal. I just check their water and make sure it's full. All right, so another thing we discovered with the chicken tractor is you think that the chickens are safe in there, and theoretically they are. I don't know if you remember on one of our future videos, I had mentioned that we had a dead chicken, and I thought it just looked like it had been trampled. Well, that's actually what happened. So I'll show you a picture of a chicken that I thought was dead. But so I came out, I heard a commotion, and I came out. We had something after the chickens. Couldn't get in the coop. It kept circling. But all the chickens had piled into one corner. And we took care of this situation. However, I saw 6 legs sticking out of chickens that were on the bottom of the pile, and they were being suffocated. So this had been about 7 minutes probably that Shane had taken care of the situation. And so I go out. The chickens always come to me because they think I'm going to feed them, but I couldn't get them to come to me to get off those other chickens that were down on the ground. So anyway, finally we got them out of the corner, and 2 of the chickens stood up, but one was laying out flat, looked like its neck was broke. So I do know the other chicken previously had been trampled, but so we went to get the chicken. He raised the chicken tractor, and I was going to pull the one that I thought was dead out, and as soon as I grabbed it, it flipped its head around and stood up. It had a rough day, but it got over it. So even though you think they're safe in the tractor, if something comes after them, you still might lose 1, 3 chickens just because they could be trampled. So that's another thing that we've learned from this. So to sum it up, would I do it again? No, I would not do the chicken tractor for meat chickens like this again. So I think I've got a friend that has an incubator. I would probably incubate a few chickens at a time, or sorry, probably wouldn't incubate chickens. I'd probably incubate a few eggs at a time and see if we could get our chickens to accept them. But we're going to leave them with our chickens. We'll try that. I don't know. I know that could be, they might be a little too aggressive for babies, but this has been too much stress and too much work for me. I have not enjoyed the chicken tractor. So maybe in the future we would do a fewer chickens, but my vote is no on the chicken tractor. So I'll give you a quick update on the garden. I got green beans planted. Here I have, well, I'm supposed to have 3 rows of jade green beans, and for whatever reason, this row right here didn't come up at all. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 6 in this middle row. And I have 2, 4, 6, 7 in this short row. I knew I didn't have enough seed to finish it anyway. But that's what I have in this one. These are jade green beans. My 2 beds of potatoes are looking amazing. I'm excited. So then over here, my zucchini, I planted that. It's coming up. And then I have, supposed to have 2 rows of Canter green beans. And I have just a few. This row again didn't come up. I don't know, and maybe it's because they were older. I'm not sure. My Landreth beans, I have 2 rows of Landreth beans, and they did real well. And then I have a couple rows here of contenders. And then this is our May Queen lettuce, and I just harvested some tonight for supper, so we're going to see how we like that. That's the first I've harvested. So I did fix us some salads for dinner with some tomatoes and some bell peppers, and the May Queen lettuce was really good. I was really pleased with it, but my anticipation is Shane's dread. He really is trying to enjoy vegetables, but it's just a work in progress for him. Okay, so I seed started some tomatoes this year, and I'm terrible about seed starting tomatoes. I just have not had any success with it, but this year I have some. They're obviously smaller than I would buy at the greenhouse, but they're heirloom, and so anyway, I'm excited about it, and I will show you those. Okay, so right here is a black icicle. I have 2 black icicles. Oh, I'm sorry. I have 3. That's an itty bitty one. It's just having a rough time, but that's what I have. Okay, then I have a Cherokee purple. It's short, but it's going to be all right, I think. I have a solar flare. I have 2 of those. That one's doing a little bit better. And then I have a couple of Abe Lincolns, and a friend gave these to me. Obviously, she's much better at it than I am. But we've had so much wind and rain that they're struggling with standing up straight. And I planted them pretty deep, but that's okay. I've got some strawberries that I planted. Got 2 sweet potatoes here. And then a honeydew is coming up. And then on this side, I've got another sweet potato and some pumpkin. And of course, you gotta have something pretty. So I've got just a pot of flowers here sitting on the porch steps. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to give you kind of an update on our chicken tractor and give you my opinion about that, the pros and cons. And they eat a lot of food per day. A lot of food, which I guess makes sense. There are 27 of them in there. But anyway, so hopefully we will get another video out next week. And thanks to the new subscribers that we have. And we will see you on the next video.